I'm Captain Devin, and this is my journey in inshore fishing. Ooh.
If you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
We are going to catch a limit of fish on LAFB TV. Number 16. 17. Number 18. Number 19. Number 20. Trout number 21. Trout number 23. I'm at 25, but we're going to catch some more anyway. More speckled trout. I think it's another trout. It's another trout. We're sitting here whacking the absolute garbage out of the speckled trout. We're hammering them right here. All right, guys. We're doing another episode because y'all asked for it. Now, in the last episode, episode 1, we went on like a learning trip. If you remember, there are 2 kinds of fishing trips. There's the learning trip, then there's the actual catching trip. Last time we went on a learning trip. This time we're going to go on a catching trip. And it's a pretty good day. We have decent winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the northeast. I wish they weren't. We've got like a 1.3 foot falling tide. And overcast skies are good. And there's a little bit of rain, but fish are already wet, right? We're going to go out and try and catch a limit of speckled trout. That is today's mission. Now let me tell you why it's so important to catch a limit of speckled trout today. It's important because the only way you can really appreciate fish to the point where it stops being about the fish and it starts being more about the pursuit of the fish is by catching the hell out of them and catching a whole bunch. And you do it enough, one day you'll just be out in the marsh and be like, I've already set the hook 1,000 times. I know what this is like. Anybody can reel in a fish, guys. But being able to find fish and being able to appreciate them to the point where you put them back in the water, that's a whole other level of angling. Now we are going to catch a limit of speckled trout, not with just a popping cork or a jig or whatever. I actually have an arsenal of tackle that I brought with me just for today. Let me show it to you. All right, first and foremost, we got ties right in case the cameraman decides he wants to catch some too, which is good. Everyone needs a catch. But my favoritist rod that I have up here is this St. Croix. It's a 6'4" medium extra fast rod. This is a very niche rod. It's very difficult to find. If I don't use this, I use a Daiwa Tatula 6'6" medium fast. This is a Daiwa Tatula 100 spooled and 12-pound fluorocarbon. I have a 3/8 ounce jig head rigged on it right now. And then I have another rod that's just like it, except that it has 12-pound monofilament. And monofilament and fluorocarbon fall differently through the water to create a different action and a different presentation that speckled trout enjoy. Sometimes one more than the other. Now, we also have this really awesome topwater rod with a very awesome topwater. And this specific topwater lure is called it's made by Evergreen, and it's called a shower blow. And this is their 125 millimeter version. And each time you work it, like when you're walking the dog, it turns 180 degrees. So I actually use a 6-to-1 gear ratio throwing this, just because an 8-to-1 is too fast, because this thing covers ground so slowly because it's going 180, 180, 180, 180. Speckled trout love it, and it brings out the bigger speckled trout. Now over here, I've got a drop shot rod, and this is a Daiwa Tatula with like a 7-foot medium extra fast. This is actually 8-pound Daiwa J braid. Very, very light line, and you want to use a light line with the drop shots. Typically you're fishing deeper, and a lighter line cuts through that deeper water much more easily and will keep that drop shot where you want it. I do have a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader, which is a little heavier than what I normally use, and that's good. That 12-pound fluorocarbon leader is just good for speckled trout because I have those teeth that rake across the leader, right? Now, last but certainly not least is the Good to Go, all famous, ever-present popping cork. It's just a popping cork with a 2-foot leader line underneath it, and for a bait I have that Berkeley rattle shrimp and coastal candy. Berkeley rattle shrimp and coastal candy. And for a popping cork, got a 4 Horsemen. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Y'all say what you want in the comments below. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started and see what kind of fish we catch. So here comes the rain. Trout are already wet. All right, guys, so no fish at the first spot. Is that bad? Is that good? Doesn't really mean anything. The strategy behind today is covering water like it owes us something. All right, increasing our odds of getting on a good speckled trout bite by moving with a purpose. So, little development here. Let me show you guys something. I like using wind finder for our weather, wind forecast, etc. I don't know how well you can see it there, but that's what it's forecasted here for the Shell Beach area. And they show 1 raindrop, but we're getting one raindrop. I can't speak English. We're getting 1 raindrop right now, and we're about to get all the raindrops. Oh yeah, pain train's coming, baby, but fish are already wet. So I really don't want to run in it because it's just, you know, you just get more wet and the sting in your eyes. You can't see where you're going. And if it gets real bad, then you really can't see where you're going. So I'm going to go back to where we went in episode 1, and that's the rock dam. Maybe we can jig up a few, but we can also wait and see what this rain is going to do. Guys, we are here at the rock dam, and it's not happening. I haven't caught a fish, no bite, no bites. I'm not seeing any good bait balls, no activity on the surface. So we're gonna go. We just gotta keep moving. It's gonna be tough with this rain, but fish are already wet. There we go, baby. That's what we're talking about. Whoop. Well, hey girl. This is a gorgeous speckled trout. Look at her, beautiful fish. Oh my gosh, I love these things so much that I come out here in the rain and put up with the rain to catch these. But guys, fish are already wet. Now we're gonna put her back in the water so you guys can come out here and catch them too. It's not the most graceful fish release, but let's catch more. All right, so what you saw in that last clip was me using my hand, my offhand, to break the spinning reel as the line's coming off, to break the fishing line rather as it's coming off the spool of the spinning reel. And I do that out of habit, but also to kind of guide my bait where I want it to go, because spinning tackle just doesn't have the power and control over artificial lures like casting tackle does. So that's one way you can kind of slow a bait down and get it to go exactly where you want it to, or you can just grab the line and stop it altogether. Maybe like to keep it from flying into the grass. I'm not doing any pinpoint casting out here. I just do it out of force of habit. Yeah, here we go. Come on, girl. Come on. Uh-oh. Oh, it's another nice trout. Oh! You know, guys, at the last minute there, I thought it could have been a sail cat. So, sail cat's not something I really want to boat flip. It was not a sail cat. It was a nice trout. And it got off literally just, I mean, if she would have been a little more in, she would have landed in the boat, but so is not the case. Just got to catch another one. Guys, so we've been fan casting that popping cork around, and yeah, it caught some nice fish, but we're not whacking them. And I feel very strongly that they are here. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that they want. So we are throwing them the evergreen shower blow, that same bait I showed you earlier. And I just got a strike on the first cast. So let's see if we can't draw them out with it. He took a swipe at it. Come on, Mr. Trousey. Just gotta keep going. So, having a good topwater experience begins with good tackle. We're throwing this on 15-pound monofilament. Now you can use braid. Braid's good because it floats, but it doesn't stretch and it tangles real easy on treble hooks. So you still want to have a monofilament leader of some sort, but I just throw a straight monofilament because it stretches and it's a little bit more giving, and it'll help keep those fish pinned, especially speckled trout, because they're so soft. I'm just concentrating on looking at it like, please bite it, bite it. And they've taken a few swipes at it. Now, not all topwaters are walking baits like, or baits you can walk like this one. But, you know, like a whopper plopper, it's got a big old prop on the back of it. There's all kinds of different topwater baits out there you can use for speckled trout. But I like this action of that 180-degree walk, swish, 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 swish. And you can experiment with speeding it up and walking it really, really fast, or you can slow it down. And that's what I'm doing right now, trying to figure out if there's a specific cadence these fish want, because they're nicer trout and I would like to catch them, but they are being picky right now. So when you're walking the dog on a topwater bait, you want to keep the rod tip pointed down towards the water. You don't want to walk the dog with the rod tip up, because then you're going to raise the topwater bait out of the water and it's going to jump more than it's going to walk. And you want to create a cadence of that rod tip going down, down, down. You're snapping it down, and then you're reeling in that little bit of slack. And a like 7-to-1 or 8-to-1 gear ratio bait caster is really, really good for that, because it takes up slack real quickly. But I throw 6-to-1 here because this topwater bait, the evergreen shower below, walks so slowly. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, perpendicular to its motion of travel. We found ourselves in a little different situation here. Water's a little deeper right here, right at the mouth of a bayou. Water's dropping like a rock. And on the graph, I just saw just a bunch of extra looking bait and whatnot. There's a bunch of crap in the water too, like grass and stuff, but I did see some bait balls. And 5 casts into it, got a bite, lost a fish, and then we got this guy right here. So let's work this and see if we can't catch some more. When you're fishing a situation like this, And I mean, you can see the water, how quickly it's moving. You really want to be casting upstream so that slack gets knocked in that line and the bait can actually sink. If you were to cast downstream, that water will push up against the fishing line and lift that lure up, and it won't get down towards the bottom where those fish are holding. And they do hold to the bottom. You know, next time you catch a speckled trout, and especially in, you know, deeper, faster moving water, look at his belly. You'll see it's a little red, and it's agitated because he's been sitting on the bottom. So we want to get our bait to the bottom, and you can do that with thinner line, and you can also do that, obviously, with a heavier jig head. So I'm going to tie on a heavier jig head that I'm hoping that I already have up here. Yeah, here we go. The Matrix Shad Goldeneye. Color really isn't that important when you're starting out like this. You just kind of want to locate the fish first, and once you get a good bite going, then start fine-tuning the color. I wouldn't say the color is a make or break kind of thing. I would say that lure color is like an accelerator. It helps you catch the fish faster. But I'd say right now, anything bright like lemon head, ultraviolet, even pink champagne would be good. This one feels good. Taking it easy with this fish. I don't want to lose any more. Have a running streak on that. No! It's a rat red. Gosh darn it. On the good side, on the bright side with this rat red, at least I know I'm getting my bait down there and in front of fish. This has got to be a redfish. If this is a speckled trout, it's a world record. Look at that. Absolutely swallowed it. That is why you want to achieve a good presentation, so you get a good shot at it. Same thing as another spot, guys. Finding fast moving water, put on the jig. Boop, boop, boop. Come on. Hey girl, you are so pretty. Look at her. Look at her belly. No red marks there, but she's definitely on the bottom. So let's put her back in the water. I would prefer to have the opportunity to catch her again sometime in the future. Let's see if she has any friends. Ah, there we go. Oh! Oh, another nice one. Not as nice as the last one, but it's a keeper. 3/8 ounce jig head and an ultraviolet, a Matrix Shad in ultraviolet. Gosh, they're just so pretty. I absolutely love these fish. All right, girl, back in the water you go. Gosh, that was just the softest little bite right there. Oh yeah. Hey girl. And look at how she choked it. Look at that. Oh, no, no, no. Boop. There we go. She absolutely decimated that bait. Man, the bite was, it didn't feel like it though. I just felt a very tiny tip. It's like she's being sneaky. All right, let's put it back. What I want to cover here and now, while it's relevant, is the concept of structure and cover. Structure is not bridge pilings, wood pilings. Structure is how a body of water is shaped. Like a lagoon is shaped differently from a bayou. A pond is shaped differently from a bay. And not just, and when I say structure, I don't mean just how it looks on a map, but also think, there we go. Gosh, I just saw the line move and didn't even feel it. Another keeper. Structure also pertains to how a body of water is shaped at the bottom. Okay, so you can have a bayou where it's just kind of shaped like a bowl almost. It's just shallow on the shorelines and then deeper in the middle. But this is a little bit different. This is shaped almost more like a river right here, where in a river bend, the outside part of the bend is the deepest, and the inside part of the bend is the shallowest. So underneath the trolling motor, it's like what? Okay, well right here is 6 foot, but where we were, just a little bit more to the right there, is like 2 foot. Right off that shoreline where I'm casting over here, and where I'm letting my bait go, it's like, oh man, he nailed it. It's like 11 foot. It's like 11 to 16 foot. So what you don't want to do is park the boat in the middle of this bayou and then cast at the middle or at the shoreline, because you're going to be on top of the fish. You want to recognize how that body of water, how that bayou is structured, so then you know where it is you need to position the boat based, because then you know where fish are going to be. Cover, unlike, oh man, it's a little ding. I don't know, we're just gonna, I mean, I'm not keeping them. I just like to know if they're 12 inches. He's not 12 inches, no way. Let me click in his other 2 fish though, just so I know where I'm at. Cover is not the same as structure. Like I said earlier, structure isn't bridge pilings, fallen timber, etc. That's actually cover. Cover are items on structure. Ooh, man, that was a good bite. How is it that I didn't get that one? So cover would be like lily pads, aquatic grass, fallen timber, a shopping cart resting at the bottom of the bayou or whatever. That's cover. Another good example of cover would be oysters. Now the oyster bed itself kind of creates a mound in the bottom of wherever it's at, like a bay, lagoon, bayou, or whatever. So it does change how that body of water is structured, but it does provide a specific kind of cover that smaller bait fish can live in, and then speckled trout pile on top of that. Notice how I waste no time getting that bait back out. If I'm gonna wipe my hand off, I'll do it after the bait's out. If you've never seen this before, this is anise oil. And if you don't know what anise is all about, I want you to go to Rouse's and get some anise cookies and knock out a box of them. And then you come back and you tell me if you think fish like this or not. There we go. Yeah, boy. Oh no! Get that bait right back out there. No crying about it. No wishing that the hook didn't come loose. Just get that bait back out there. That's why I love inshore fishing. There's no referee to put the fish back on the hook. There's no gutter guards to make sure you knock down the pin. You get what you get, even if you don't deserve it. That was, again, that was a weird bite. Come on, Goober. Well, boy, you'd make the cut just barely, huh? This one's a male because he's croaking. That was insane. There was a shrimp, it's the first shrimp we've seen all day, just being chased. He was bam, bam, bam going, and a trout, a nice trout, was right on his tail too. There we go, there he is. Dang it, he came off. And he hit it though. we go, got him. Boy, I saw you, I got your name, I got your number. I swear this was the same trout I saw chasing that shrimp. Either way, I caught him, he's a keeper, I'll take it. In the air hook release. Guys, I have a button that's built into my die with the tool. You press it and the fish comes unhooked. When you're fighting fish in the current, kind of want to take it easy on them. Really want to take it easy on them. So have that extra pressure on them. You don't want to be yanking on them. I mean, see how that fish just came unbuttoned? The fish is just barely hooked in the lips. And that is, let me take a quick look. That's got to be trout number 15 or so. Yeah, that's trout 15. Guys, we are moving up in the world. We are making something happen here. Freaking speckled trout. This one's trying to be catch. It doesn't want me to throw it back. This is trout number 16. Hey girl. Number 17. Number 20. Goodness, in the corner of the mouth. Trout number 21. The jig bite got a little tough, so I threw my drop shot out there and first cast got one. So maybe this is what we need for, that was 22, we need 23, 24, and 25. Oh, come on now. Here we go. Good to be good. I'd much rather be good than lucky. Guys, this is speckled trout number 23. Guys, this drop shot's a real drop shot. And what I mean by that is that it's the kind of drop shot that you'll see like in the realm of bass fishing, especially for smallmouth up north. This is it's actually a Japanese technique, but they do very well smallmouth up north. Now, what I use here is not some 40-pound monofilament crimp stuff from Walmart. This is the real deal. So I got 8-pound Daiwa J-braid, and this is a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is actually a little heavier, but it's only because the speckled trout, their teeth break across it. But I might even use a like 10-pound fluorocarbon. And then I use a half ounce weight at the bottom, and I do that just to keep it glued to the bottom where I know those fish are. But I keep the bait hooked on the nose, so that way when I twitch that rod tip, you're getting maximum action. And right now we're cast for cast with speckled trout, and it's a really good way to catch them when they start getting a little finicky. So this is braid paired with a my drop shot setup is a medium power extra fast action rod, and paired with that braid, it is very, very sensitive. So what I want to do is keep my line tight. Okay, no slack line fishing. I'm keeping my line tight, and I'm just kind of hopping it along the bottom, just twitching it a little bit like that. And you want it to go with the current. In this case, you want it to go with the current. Right to left. And when they load up on it, you'll know. Now, what you don't want to do is have that drag tighten down all the way. All right, we're not cranking in redfish here. We are finesse fishing speckled trout. So you want to have it set up so when you set that hook, a little bit of line is going to pay out. Now the reason you use a spinning rod and not a casting rod is that you can open up the bail and just let line out, just like that. It's real easy to do. This bait really isn't meant to be cast and retrieved. It's really meant to be fished vertically. which we are sort of doing here. So you want to fish it on spinning tackle. Wham, baby! Guys, this is trout number 24. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know, this guy's 12 inches, and I'll count him as 25, but we're gonna catch some more anyway. Guys, that's definitely number 25. Rain, sleet, or sunshine, we are gonna catch a limit of fish on LAFB TV. All right, guys, so we caught our 25 fish. And what I like to do is run around and do a little bit more homework after I catch them, just so I can keep tabs on what's going on out there. And this is how you maintain, my bait's way out there. This is how you maintain continued success over the long term. So we're at another deep bend in the bayou. The water's like 24 foot out there in the middle, and this water's just hauling through here, and it's bringing all that bait with it. So first cast yielded a nice speckled trout. Let's see if we can't catch some more. All right, guys, we might have some redfish here instead of speckled trout. And I'm all right with that. So let's see if they're still biting. So I know I already caught two here. One was off camera, one was on camera. There we go. There he is. Drag puller. Drag puller. For those of you that say Daiwa has too light a drag, the line wouldn't break if the drag was too light. Let's get it on another jig head and get back out there. That's all you can do. There's definitely redfish down there. And what I'm gonna do is just get him to the boat. I gotta go get my net for this guy. This one's definitely a little bit bigger. I got my net stored all the way in the back. Gosh, that is a beautiful, beautiful bronze Biloxi Marsh redfish. There we go, look at that, guys. Nice redfish. It's kind of hard to stay glued to the bottom here because the current's sweeping the bait that way and the wind's blowing on the line this way. And when the wind blows on that line, there we go, it picks up on the bait. Well, this is what we came here for in the first place, is more speckled trout. But I kind of want those redfish now. Oh man, guys, I keep getting broke off, so I'm going to a heavier rod and a heavier line. This is 20-pound monofilament. I don't really have anything that has heavy braid, just because I did not anticipate this happening today. I figured it'd just be a trout day. Here we go. Oh, come on, trout. I'm trying to catch a redfish right now, man. Give me a break. There we go, right underneath the boat. Oh, come on, man. What happened to the redfish? I think it's another trout. It's another trout! Come on, man. Where'd the redfish go? I think it's another trout. It's another trout. I want to know where the redfish went. Is this what I had to... The shrimp jumping. Shrimp's jumping. Get that bait in there, Devin. this one's a redfish. If it's a speckled trout, it's 30 pounds. Guys, that is three. That's three redfish. A limited speckled trout and three redfish. And there's actually a fourth one, but I don't think it got on the camera. And there were others that popped the line because I was throwing that light line. It's meant for speckled trout and not for reds. Oh man, he was just barely hanging on there. Look how fat. Come here, buddy. There we go. Look how fat that belly is. Look at that. This guy's been gorging on shrimp. In fact. There we go. Look at him. Hey, buddy. All right, guys. I'm gonna put him back in the water so y'all can come out here and catch him. Woo, 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 woo. All right, guys, we had to throw back like 20 speckled trout, but we finally hooked up with another redfish. I never thought in a million years I'd hear myself saying that, but I just did. Come on now. Gosh, these redfish are angry. There he is. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. All right. Good to go. Oh, look, he's got whiskers hanging out of his gill plate. Shrimp whiskers. And they, guys, they are feasting. They are absolutely feasting on shrimp down there. It looks like he got hit by a prop. Or something happened there. You're still a pretty fish. We still like you though, buddy. All right, let's put him back. Because I'd like to catch him again. All right, guys, we got another redfish. But this is on the light line. So I want to nurse him. I want to take it easy with him. We've been catching just an ungodly amount of speckled trout, guys. This is absolutely insane. So we stopped filming for a little bit. It's just like, hey, let's just have some fun. And we definitely got our limit of trout. Meaning 50, me and the cameraman. Come on, Mr. Redfish, let's go. Where's that net at? There we go. Wham! Boom! I think that makes 5 redfish. It's definitely 5. I know one was caught off camera. So 25 speckled trout, 5 redfish. Guys, this doesn't happen by accident. These fish, I plan them out. I know where they're going to be, or at least I have a good idea to go. I know where to go try, where to go throw a line. We're not just fishing spots, we're actually fishing the conditions, and that's what I'm all about inside LFB Elite. Knowledge is the #1 thing that catches beautiful redfish and limits of speckled trout. It's virtually guaranteed. All right, let's put them back in the water. Here's the deal. We're sitting here whacking the absolute garbage out of the speckled trout. We're hammering them right here. We had a good day. Let's go ahead and head on back to the dock. Guys, we're on our way home. We had a pretty good day of fishing. To catch a limit of speckled trout and a limit of redfish is pretty good. And then, after that, me and the cameraman took a break, and I lost count, but we had to have caught and released 50 speckled trout. Now, there's 2 things about this. First and foremost, If you want to see another episode, and if you enjoyed it and you thought you learned a few things, by all means, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. If we get a whole bunch of people subscribing, we'll crank out another episode. Secondly, the fishing success that we had today did not happen by accident. If I had to break down the ingredients, there would be 3 of them. There's navigation. You have to be able to safely navigate the marsh. Then there is finding the fish, okay, and fishing strategy kind of falls into that too. And then there's actual technique. If you can't safely get from the dock to where the fish are biting, you'll never catch fish like we did today. And then if you can't find where they're biting based upon the season and the prevailing conditions, you're not going to find them. And lastly, if you don't know the techniques to catch them, especially when they're not biting as easily, you're not really going to catch them. Not as well as you could anyway. All 3 of those things I have broken down in detail inside LAFB Elite. In fact, one of the things that I do for members of LAFB Elite is I do what's called a fishing trip review, where I plan a fishing trip and I record the entire thing so you can see everywhere I go and exactly how I fish each spot. And then at the end of the day, I take the tracks off the boat's GPS, upload them to Google Earth, and go over exactly everywhere I went, what happened, lessons learned, etc., just to fill in any gaps. And it comes with instructor support too, so if you see something that's interesting, like, hey, what's that? We'll be there to answer that question for you. And you can see more of that at lafbelite.com. Guys, thanks for watching. And remember, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button.